Knights at the Round Table, a round table discussion on speculative fiction books and film. Hi everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Knights at the Round Table. Today we are discussing the 2013 film Gamers 3, Hands of Fate. I'm sitting at the table with Jen and Eric, and I would like to start with general impressions of the film. Jen, you haven't been here in a bit, so you get to go first.
Oh, yay. I thought it was very realistic, for the most part, actually, other than, characters coming to life in real life.
Spoilers.
We're talking about the film. What do you expect? It was really fun. I liked it a lot.
Eric?
I feel like I've been following this team for 15 years, which I kind of have. Oh boy. So it's really great to see the evolution, both of the acting, the writing, and I said both, but also of the filmography.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yes. Same, I really enjoyed this movie. I am not a card player of this kind, so I'm fairly certain a few of the jokes went over my head. It wasn't as laugh out loud funny for me this time around as it was with the first two. But I found the story really great. The acting was great. The videography, the cinematography has improved so much. So on one hand it lost this is really bad sets, bad footage, fairly average acting, but hilarious, and that sort of charm has gone, but it was replaced by something that was genuinely really enjoyable and entertaining, and I was invested the whole movie.
I spent a lot of my high school years and my money at high school playing Magic the Gathering.
My brother's a big player too.
And this game is similar, but nothing like it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this kind of game exists where there's a storyline that is affected by the tournament circuit, but that is so cool.
That's a brilliant idea.
Cool. That's the kind of game I would be into.
Yeah.
I love that there were characters in the game that were there because they were introduced in
So
the tournament.
The story affects the cards affect the story, and I don't know, it's really cool. I am both horrified and love the idea of if a character dies in this set, it dies permanently.
I was so upset. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, what's his face? I can't even remember his name now.
The elf.
The Fae dude died. Begins with a D.
It was long.
It was long, yeah. Begins with a D.
No. Yeah, and I really like how the card game and the not the cards themselves or the players, but the story that we got to see hints at what happens at the end.
Yes, I also like that it harkens back to the first movie, where the players that characters are playing might actually just be real.
Yes, I really like that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's jarring that one of the players died as a player in the first movie. What did you think of the romance storyline
between the two?
The two geeks.
Okay, between the two geeks.
The real world.
Quote unquote. I really enjoyed it, mostly because it made for a good Cass is slowly becoming less of a dick arc that had started in the second film.
Sorry, I thought we were talking about the other romance.
Between the two heroes.
Of
Holden.
No, the bikini ring.
The girl player that played D&D with them and the DM.
Oh, that. Yeah.
What's his name? Yes, I liked his character arc. I liked that he slowly realized he was a dick.
Yes, yeah.
It's something that doesn't happen very often in real life, especially with gamers, and it's nice to see.
They took several moments to call out the misogyny in the
even he did. He was going to say, I really like the first introduction to Natalie, yes.
Natalie, thank you.
I remember her name.
Such a complicated name, you'd think I would remember it. I liked her comebacks at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
They were
Show
very
us your
funny.
tits. I left them at home. Like, yes. And I also like that she had a reply and could reply before any of the dudes standing at the table could come in and start white knighting,
Yeah.
which I appreciated.
Which I think she did on purpose because it's just as annoying as the other way around.
Yeah,
And we saw Cass. That's his name, Cass. Oh.
yes. Yeah.
Did they say that?
Yes,
I
you
said
did,
that.
but I forgot it.
Yeah, no. Immediately. Yeah, keep going.
I liked that they showed him going to White Knight.
Yeah,
But
like he started,
being
but
paddling
she
off.
got in before he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciated that. I like that the whole thing began as a quest for him to get laid, which it so often does, even though all he knew about this girl was that she was hot and
Kingsman.
had a really sharp mind.
Sorry.
Yes, I think that really put it over the top for him was how intelligent she was, on top of being hot.
Yeah.
I think he was willing to White Knight to start with, but after all the comebacks, he was like, okay, I'm in love.
Yeah.
She's snarky.
In love, yeah, because she was pretty and snarky, but that's pretty much all he knew. And then he spent the entire movie shitting on the stuff that she loved, which I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe not.
He did, but somewhere in the halfway part, I could tell he was just doing it because he thought he should be. You could see he was getting into it.
Yes, he started to get invested in the game,
And then finally he gave in at the end. That was really cool in my point is at the end, at the last game, he could have been the macho jackass. I do everything on my own. But he constantly looked back at the audience, at her and military dude.
Yeah.
I liked him.
Oh, he was so cute, wasn't he? He was just adorable.
And he kept looking at them for confirmation for what to do.
Yeah.
Is this okay? And
Yeah.
so he showed that he could be a team player,
Yeah.
which was nice.
Yeah, evolution of
A team
game-
player in a solo-ish type game. Which
But
is
Yeah.
neat.
because he sort of proved he had trouble with it in a group game last movie.
Yeah.
Oh, when they burned his cards.
I was so heartbroken.
I
was so upset. Okay, story time. My brother started playing Magic the Gathering when Magic the Gathering was first a thing, and he had several first edition cards that he had kept at my mum's place. And the value was substantial, and my mum, not understanding it after Christian moved away, threw them all out.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't he? Long story short, yeah.
Yeah, poor Christian is long story short.
Even with Magic, there is a storyline, there are books, there's everything, but this was so immersive.
I know, and then the LARP that accompanied it. Every
That was
time
so cute.
It was adorable. The little kids.
the little kids, every time
Kaladji got very excited when they came on.
every time I see LARPing on screen, I'm like, I just really want to LARP. I want to
Yeah.
LARP so bad.
My worry is that it's not the way it is on screen.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
they would say something super mean to each other and then go, holy shit, your character, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then go back, and I really like that.
yeah. The whole like out of character.
Yes.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I watched, this is tangential to the movie, but I watched, okay, so there's an Irish comedian by the name of Dara O'Brien, who I really enjoy because he's a bit of a geek, and by a bit of a geek, I mean he's a huge geek. And he went to a LARP to do a comedy show and to learn about LARPing, so this short documentary thing followed him as he learnt about this LARP
cool.
community. Oh, it was really hilarious. When he was reading through the names of the gods and he goes, oh, Jesus wept, like, what is this? And it was really funny. And so that
made you think of it?
made me, immediately think of it, think that it's actually probably quite close to how they portrayed it. Mm-hmm. I'm fairly confident that the gamers would have gotten it right, because they got so much about gaming right.
Yeah, and technically the part of it is faux LARP.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I like how every one of the movies so far, and from the looks of it, the fourth one, which I don't know if it's a movie or TV show or whatever, concentrates on a different aspect of nerd culture. So the first one was just pure college gaming.
Yep.
Then the second one was dealing with becoming an adult and gaming.
Yes.
And then the third one is cards and gaming and dealing with love and a whole bunch of other stuff.
A whole bunch of other issues.
Your psychological issues with chibi characters.
Oh, that okay. So that B storyline was weird to me.
So weird.
I think they may put it in just to make fun of nerd rage, which I get, but I didn't like it so much. I like the other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the least interesting, and it's too bad because he is such a good character. Like, he's one of the most supportive, really friendly.
Well, which we saw at the beginning when Joe thought she was going to be proposed to.
Yes.
He was so supportive of her. And
something I recommend, I don't think it's long enough to go in the bowl. It's only an hour. But it's
that's long
called
enough. The first game
Gamer's Natural 1, I think. And it's him, and he kidnaps his sister's fiance and forces him and her and someone else to game in order to prove that he's good enough to be with his sister. And it's honestly one of the sweetest gaming stuff ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Was there anything that you didn't like about the movie?
Yeah, I didn't like the
B story.
The B stuff,
I don't
yeah.
know, B or C?
C.
C. Yeah, because the B line was the romance between the two heroes in the other reality.
There's a D story, by the way.
Oh?
It was written it's a book written about the same events at the same time, but from the point of view of the shop owner.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I really like that shop owner.
The Jesus.
No,
No,
the
no,
owner.
He's the
Oh!
The big guy,
Yes.
for lack of a better word.
The trainer.
owner. Yeah,
Yeah.
the trainer.
Just so you know, when I picture this, it'll be Matrix.
Yeah, oh god, that was really funny.
That was
Cards.
Pat saying that.
Lots of cards.
Yeah, his look was like, yeah, okay. He's that actor is amazing at doing the like
Exasperated.
whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Nope.
Nope.
One thing that has struck me now for all three movies is the lack of diversity. So there is the two women, and that's about it.
Yeah.
There's no people of color, but I know that's a Gen Con thing. There's very few people of color who go due to gamers being gamers. But it would be nice to see a little bit more diversity in the future.
Yes.
Caladri.
Which, from the trailers of the fourth one, yeah, we're seeing that.
I didn't watch the trailer for the fourth one, but now I'm going to because I'm...
Yeah. Did you see did you recognize the co-runner of the tournament? The woman with the blonde hair?
The writer?
No.
The head writer?
Was she the writer?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure she was the head writer.
Did
Oh,
you
that's
recognize
even
her?
funnier.
She's the sorceress. She's the same actress who plays the sorceress.
I didn't even realize! Oh my god!
See, that's what I recognized her right away.
So you recognized her right away?
I thought it was a joke, like that we were seeing the sorceress and
Instead of
she
him.
wasn't actually there.
Oh, right! Oh! I didn't even realize!
The first time I was
Such a
like,
tweet.
wait, is that him? No. Wait?
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's a great actress. I love her.
She is.
The murderous strumpet. Oh, we didn't get enough of the paladin this time around.
We didn't get enough
I
of
loved
any
it.
of their characters this time.
I loved the paladin in the last movie, and I just that one like murderous strumpet line made me laugh hysterically. I'm like, oh, I've missed you.
What did you think of the secondary villain turned ally, Meech?
Oh, I liked him.
Oh,
I expected
I liked
that
him.
to happen.
Yeah?
Completely. Like, he is playing a persona. He's also a little egocentric, but
Yeah.
considering
10
how
years
often he
worth
has
of-
won,
Yeah.
it makes complete sense that he would be like that. So when we saw him playing against himself with the
Starvation.
deck.
starvation deck, I was like, he's not able to beat it. He's going to align himself with that.
Yeah.
Because he's not a bad guy.
No.
He is a good guy
Who's also competitive and,
understandably so,
Understandably.
I think. He never treated Natalie with any contempt or anything like that, which
Did
is
he even
pretty
talk
good.
to her?
No, he didn't. Not really.
But like, he was never part of the antagonizing group.
Yeah, no, he wasn't part of the legacy.
Yeah.
I think the reason he was so antagonistic to Cass at the beginning was because he recognized everything. he recognized the deck. He recognized, and I
maybe.
think he
And
both
so the
missed his
rivalry
friend
with-
and the rivalry. Yeah.
Maybe, probably. Yeah,
I
I
like-
liked his character. I
Yeah.
liked how he was able to create the alliance that ultimately won the game for the questers. And so he still won essentially. He still got his goal. His guy was on the throne. And it was so fascinating. That entire card game was so fascinating. I would totally get into that.
Oh yeah.
I would totally show up wearing war paint too.
Yeah.
That would make me happy.
Yep. I really like the one scene near the end with him, Meech, and the comic book store owner.
Where they talk about how their various proteges.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the way I would want a Karate Kid sequel to go. I know that the sequel isn't going that way, but
this movie was very Karate Kid in general.
Yeah, I mean,
Guy who doesn't know anything about card gaming goes into card gaming to win the tournament and wins the tournament.
it was the typical white savior person who jumps in.
Although what Éric
fish out of
said
water
was that Cass is a power gamer, so he understands how to use rules.
Yeah.
So he has power gamed in other games a lot.
Yeah.
So
his
it's
character-
less of a learning curve.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like someone learning Kung Fu who already knows 4 other martial arts. It's hard, but it's easier than someone who knows nothing.
Well, I might argue.
Maybe not.
There are a lot of bad habits that need to be broken.
I'm sure it's the same in card game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I guess. Yeah. Yeah, but it was very even right down to the rival dojo, which was just the legacy. There were the rival dojo in this. Yeah.
I also like that he was Meech was the cause of the legacy by accident.
By accident, by training some guy.
Lewis.
Yeah.
It's actually
You
his
look
name.
like a Lewis to me. He flips over his card. I'm like, God damn. I'm like,
Oh, that scene was just brilliant. Him crossed arms, pure
arrogance.
righteous snark.
Yeah, oh god, the arrogance on that guy. And then Lewis
And
giving
for once you were
himself...
cheering his arrogance,
Right,
which was nice.
for once you're like, yeah, you be a snarky dick to these people.
When he started the fight, though,
I was like, you're coming with us. He's like, what are you doing? Wait, we weren't fighting? What's going
Okay,
on?
this was clearly the start of a fight to me, guys.
it was to me too.
I was like, wait, what happened?
And then I was like, wait, what? They didn't. What?
I'm a hemophiliac, you asshole. I'm like, Jesus.
But yeah,
That was good. Yeah. I would have been...
It really makes them seem more like bullies and less like the all evil
like a
beings
threat.
that they had been set up to be.
Yeah.
And you're like, right, they're people.
yeah, right.
And
they're geeks.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
They're jerks and they're geeks and they're arguably evil for doing what they do, but
Yeah.
they're not actually undead.
No.
Yeah. Which is what it kind of felt like.
Yeah.
I gotta be impressed
I
by their
love that
war
scene.
paint, though.
Yes. Although their outfit. Who invited the bowling league?
I know.
Why is there a bowling team here? Jeez. There were some... It's not as quotable as the last one, but there were some great lines. Like I said, it wasn't laugh out loud funny for me, but that's because I'm certain I missed a lot of the stuff that these card tournaments would have found, or people in these card tournaments would have found hilarious. But there was a song in the end credits, which made me laugh hysterically because it was sung in Gregorian chant.
I love that.
But it was all just quotes from movies like Star Wars and The Matrix and a Karate Kid, I think. Wax On, Wax Off was in there. Do or do not do. There is no try. There is no spoon. But it was all done in Gregorian chant. And
I love Gregorian chant.
Me too. And this song, the minute I realized what they were saying, I was rolling on my bed laughing hysterically because it was just hilarious. I had to run out and tell Jasmine, my flatmate, like, you will not believe this song. Hi.
Hi.
Ow.
Hi.
Well, you're happy.
Interrupted
right?
for a hi.
Yeah.
I also like the way they treated the ring romance story, like with him and her. It was formulaic sitcom to the end, but they understood that it was.
Yeah, it was very self-aware about
The whole, like, I hate doing this, but... And I understand her. I mean, if you got really excited for it and started to accept it, and then it was a silly, like, sex fantasy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Piss
sort of
me
like,
off.
oh, crap.
It would piss me off.
Disappointing
It has
and
pissed me off.
sad.
Yeah.
But she'd also be disappointed in herself.
Yes,
too.
of course. So how dare I?
And embarrassed
yeah.
and like.
Yeah, no, she was totally understand, and I can kind of understand his point of view too, with the whole culture teaching us women are things to be won, not partners.
Mm-hmm. I really loved the B story in this movie, the two between the two heroes in the real world.
Yes.
And I loved how it interacted with the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's her face not showing up in the deck until quite late, and
Yeah.
Cass is just like, God, where have you been? Like she was actually a person, because actually she kind of is. And also the 3 wishes not being used up, and just before everything reset she's like, I wish to remember, and I'm just like, oh, did it? And then
I like the way they did that.
Mm-hmm.
It really goes with the whole theme of the movie of fate not being set.
When she went to see the seer, and
Yeah.
they're like, no, you've got it backwards. They're not deciding our fate. They're divining history. What happens now?
Such a cool twist, and
It was
so obvious.
It was great.
It was
though.
great. No, I mean, it was so
loved
obvious, but I didn't see it until it happened.
Yeah,
I
no, 'cause-
love those kinds of twists.
Yeah, because I honestly thought, like, oh, well, this game is going to decide their fate, but no.
Because in the other gamers, you always got the impression that they controlled the characters, but that also gives you the impression that maybe they didn't.
Yeah, maybe they didn't.
Maybe they were just channeling them in some weird way, and that opens up so many possibilities.
Yeah, it's a really brilliant concept that they did in their light, irreverent style, but that really just sort of blew me away when I saw it in action. It was I really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. Also, I really loved that the female hero was a complete and utter badass. I really liked her.
Yeah.
A lot.
The one, the card game one.
Yeah. May begins with an M.
Yeah.
And the turnip.
And the turnip.
God,
the turnip.
I love that it was a reoccurring joke, and then it won.
And then it won.
And the guy's like, no, please, not like this.
this.
And I'm like, take that, Lewis.
My favorite thing about that whole card game was how the golden apple turned the starvation deck against itself.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yes, now that is justice. I was but literally, I loved this movie a lot. Not because I found it hilarious, but because I was genuinely invested in what was happening with the characters. I was literally sitting here like this during that last card game, and when that happened, I was like, yes, yes.
The minute he said, if you play that card, they're going to be trying to find your body, I was like, oh, he's going to have to play that card.
Yeah.
And then I still can't believe they burned all of them.
He had to lose 2 of them throughout the game.
Like, you don't.
Although that was such a, they really managed to mix sports movies with this somehow.
Yeah.
Because that was such a sports movie moment where he's like, I don't have a deck. And everyone's like, all right, we're going to rebuild the deck. And everyone's cheering and
that
giving
made me
cards.
so happy, though. I was just like, oh, you people are amazing. Yes.
And I like that they didn't just go with, now I'm getting a date with him. It was well, I didn't get your queen on the throne, so I can get it as Anne. And then she asks him out.
Yeah, well, also, no, not really. I didn't get your queen on the throne after all. And, I did this, so you should do this. Is kind of a dick move. Yeah. Okay, but you are a douche. He goes, yeah, well, I'm a dick, not an asshole. Like, yeah, an important distinction. I really enjoyed that because Cass's character arc, in the end, he realized how wrong it was to treat sex like a commodity you exchange things for. And I loved it. Mm-hmm. Also, really loved the David Attenborough style introduction to Gen Con. That made me smile.
Yeah. I really love that this started out as a school project for university. The first gamers, and has blossomed into a studio that funds themselves through Patreon, through Kickstarter, through their DVD sales. And I don't know, I love that worked. It's really rare to see that happen without them getting bought out by a big company.
Yeah,
or...
well, to be fair, that first movie was fall off your seat funny. It was so good. It was so good. And still had that this is clearly a project just for fun.
Watch your foot.
Clearly had this is a project just for fun kind of charm, which grew into something bigger and better, and I'm really looking forward to what they put out next. I really am. These guys... By the way, guys, if you need a chubby martial artist, I'll play. Alright, so, star rating and final thoughts, quickly.
4. Final thoughts, excellent. Not all pregnant women are like that, though. Seriously. Like,
apparently
I was
that's
the
only
opposite.
the extended edition. We watched the extended edition, but yeah, Sonia didn't realize that she was pregnant.
I had no idea.
Oh.
It might have been in the, just...
It was pretty obvious.
Oh, sure.
She said, baby wants, 3 times. And
She
you could see her
leaned back, and she was like, sorry, I need
You shouldn't have knocked her up. Now she has all the power.
Yeah, it was like, oh.
Yeah, no, I missed all of that.
So that is a terrible stereotype, but this whole thing
But it's also
is,
hilarious.
I was not laughing that hard. It was not fair.
True. Okay. I'll give it a 4 also. It's easily rewatchable, and I've watched it 3 times now, and every time I catch a little bit something more.
Story, written, the words, the writing.
The writing
was amazing.
Yes, it was very good.
It was so...
It was tighter
and it was
than
very
a lot of
well
movies out
acted, and,
Yeah.
I was impressed.
Yes. So 4 stars for me as well. I really enjoyed this movie, not because I found it as funny as the first 2 or nearly as charming as the first 2, but because the writing was so good. Because they really did talk about issues in the geek community to do with misogyny, and it's an issue.
Yeah.
And just because I liked Cass's character arc from realizing that, what he was doing was really douchey. Really douchey, guys.
Watching this and then watching 2 again is kind of jarring because you really see how far he's come.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I cannot recommend this series enough, and I love what these guys are doing. So, yeah. Alright,
Keep them coming!
Keep them coming! That's it! Who wants to pick the next one?
Caladri wanted to. Do you think we can trust her to only grab one?
We can try.
Only one.
Yay!
1880. Oh. Willow, 1988. Val Kilmer as the main character. No, main billing. Sorry, main billing.
Okay, so the next movie we'll be discussing is Willow, the 1988 classic. I remember watching this when I was very little. I remember nothing else about it.
Arguably my favorite George Lucas movie.
Okay, so thanks very much for watching. If you had any thoughts about Hands of Fate, the 3rd installment of the Gamers movie series, leave them in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks very much, bye!
Bye!